Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. What's going on, guys? You know something? You know who I think is the next Joe Rogan? A lot of people. I've even had people in my comments be like, I'm gonna they saw my interviews that I'm doing, Tinfoil Speedo Experience, look it up. I might even put a link in the description. But if you write that in, I'm the only person that should be showing up. So people are like, oh, the black Joe Rogan and blah, 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 because I'm doing such long conversations. Okay, I hear that. You know, some people think it's Danny Jones. If you don't know Danny Jones, let me pull up some people here for you. I was going to do no clips this time. It's not going to be a clip, but at least I'll show you who Danny Jones is. Let's click on Danny Jones. This is Danny Jones. Great podcast. Absolutely amazing podcast. But he's more like Art Bell. For the older people, you guys know who Art Bell is. He's like Art Bell. And if you want to hear some really out there conversations, you can listen to this guy. You want to hear some out there conversations, you can listen to me. And Rogan was known for the out there conversations. But I think the next Joe Rogan, I've always said it would be this guy. This is who I always said it would be. I said in the next 5 years, he overtakes Joe Rogan. Now I see him interviewing Joaquin Phoenix. It's solidified, guys. That's it. He's on to the famous people. That's it. I remember when Joe Rogan first really took off, and it was really when he interviewed Steven Tyler, where I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like he's sitting with, I'm like, oh, this is nuts. Steven Tyler. How is he? It didn't even make sense. I'm like, how is he sitting down with Steven Tyler? Now I'm looking at this saying, how is this guy sitting down with Joaquin Phoenix? How did that happen? Yeah. Behind the scenes, there's managers and talent agencies and stuff all doing this. And I think it'd be a good idea, Joaquin, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's some Hollywood stuff behind it. But also, Theo is very talented in that realm. But honestly, I've changed my thought process. I don't think it's going to be Theo anymore. Listen, this is who I think it's going to be now. I think the next Joe Rogan is Asmongold. That's who I think it is. I think Asmongold will 100%.
My dad's not able to like get around very easily.
Wow, man. If you ever see this, Asmon, man, I hope your dad gets better. You know, my dad passed away. It was really hard. So hope he gets better. But I think it's going to be Asmongold. I think Asmongold is the new Joe Rogan. Here's why. Joe Rogan. There's a fly over there. There's flies in my house. I don't know where they're coming from. And there's many. I don't know why. They keep popping up. Can't smell anything dead in the house. So where are the flies coming from? Just putting it out there for anyone in the comments who knows about stuff like this. It's a big fly. It's in here. I'm in a basement. The doors are closed. How is this happening? I think it's going to be Asmongold because Joe Rogan actually started out as a streamer. A lot of people don't know this about Joe Rogan because you weren't watching since episode 1. I've been watching since episode 1. He was a streamer at first. There was a thing called Ustream, and you could watch him do stuff. Sometimes he'd be in the green room, sometimes he'd be at a place, and finally they settled at a room, an extra room inside his house, like I'm doing right now. But he started as a streamer, and he had great communication skills, and he had a lot to say, very much like Asmongold. And on top of that, when you think about Asmongold, listen, I know some people don't like the Roach King. Some of you don't even know who he is. You will. Trust me, you will. He is an extraordinary communicator. I've been watching his stuff only for like 6 months now. He is an incredible communicator when he wants to be. And here's the thing. You might think, I don't know what I'm talking about. I do. It's my job to listen to things every single day. So I know the good communicators from the bad ones. Joe's okay. Joe is very good at letting his thoughts unfold throughout months of podcasting, where you'll hear him say one thing and it'll evolve and evolve and evolve. Asmongold sometimes will have his audience members the people who are in his live stream, they'll say, explain this situation to me like it's an RPG game, because he's a gamer, just like Joe Rogan was as well. And he'll explain it like an RPG game. Sometimes he'll explain it like a redneck. He'll just be like, I'm saying that in the most kindest way. He'll just explain it like he's a hillbilly or something. Really, really blunt, straightforward, And sometimes he'll explain it like as if he went to university. And maybe he did. I don't even know. But he just has levels to him. And here's the next thing. All it takes right now, since he is a guy who sits by himself and has conversations with people in his stream, all it's going to take is for this guy who has 3.8 million subscribers on YouTube, gets probably in the neighborhood, I would venture to say, of 20 million views a month. More views on YouTube than Joe Rogan gets on YouTube. That's I'm positive. I'm watching the numbers. Not on any audio platforms or anything like that. But all he has to do is say, I want to talk to this person for 2 hours. There are many people that would do it. I would. If Asmongold said, I want to come to my house and sit and talk to me, I'd be like, okay, I'll talk to you for 7 hours if you want. I don't care. I'll spend the whole day with you. I would do that. I'm a low-level creator. I think higher-level people would do it as well. I think people would do that like hotcakes. This guy lives 20 minutes away from Joe Rogan's studio. Maybe 30. Maybe 30. He's close. Don't ask why I know where Joe Rogan's studio is and where Asmongold lives. Again, it's my job to know. I watch a lot of things. I listen to a lot of things. I'm able to connect the dots. But he could get, maybe not Rogan, but he could get Shane Gillis. I bet you money he could get Shane Gillis. And even if he can't, there's probably some other comedians that he could get. There's probably some people in politics, lower level, state level politicians in Texas. Since he is generational to Texas, I bet he could get them to sit down with him and they could talk some stuff out. I bet he could get Hassan Piker, who's also a streamer, to sit down with him. I bet he could get Penguin Zero. I bet he can get all sorts of people like that to sit down with him. And there you go. As soon as he does that, he's off to the races. And I'll bet money that in the next 2 years, we are going to see Asmongold. He's going to continue to do this. He's not going to stop. But he's going to start having long-form conversations with people. Because as someone who's a good communicator, listen, I've been watching since episode 1 of Rogan. This is what Joe Rogan does. Joe Rogan says, you know what? I want to talk about this. This is like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to talk about this, Red Band. And if you've been watching since forever, you'll remember he would go on these rants, just these rants where he'd be talking for like 10 minutes at a time. And it would get to the point where he would get mad at Red Band. He'd be like, are you listening, man? Are you listening? And Red Band would be like, I'm doing the audio. I'm doing stuff. Like, yeah, I'm listening, but like, we're here. Like, He'd be like, yeah, but I have some stuff to say. And like, I'm trying to, and they would have these arguments all the time. So Joe Rogan, this is where I'm at with it. Okay. I watched it for him. He got to the point where he was like, I want to talk to some people because I have things to say and I can't say them on stage. And there's things that I want to talk about. That whole him talking about what he's interested in, that didn't come till later. He wasn't doing that with Joey Diaz. He wasn't doing that with Ari Shaffir. There were things that he had to say, that he wanted to say, and he realized that he had to have it in a conversation form because him and Red Band weren't really having conversations. It was more like Red Band was Jamie and he was Joe, and they were talking to a stream, but the stream didn't have anything valuable to say because he wasn't the super famous Joe Rogan he is today. He was just a comedian. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's very interesting, but I think Asmongold is going to turn into the next Joe Rogan, which, sorry for the left. I know the left is looking for the next Joe Rogan. Well, this Joe Rogan thinks that every single immigrant should be escorted out of the United States immediately. this version of Joe Rogan has no liberal parts in his body. So he just has blood and Pepsi. That's it. That's all he has coursing through his veins. So that's going to be the next Joe Rogan. That's my prediction. I think that's going to happen. That's going to happen soon. Man, if you talk to Asmongold, tell him that I want to interview him. I would love to interview Asmongold. I would love to talk to him about that exact topic. I would love to know if he's going to interview people. I think he is. I think he is. And I know what you're thinking. This guy's talking a lot. I am talking a lot. Like I told you, this channel is going to turn into me not just talking like this, but there are going to be times I get it. Some people don't want to hear me talk. Well, then this is not for you. For the people that do, for the people who are just chilling and they're just like, whatever, just there's a guy talking for 10 minutes about something that's mildly interesting. It's for you guys, So if you're not that person, don't bother telling me in the comments. I don't care, okay? I really don't, right? I'm just, I'm on this kick of being myself. And I just want, again, I don't want to just talk about politics. I want to talk about stuff like this. I want to talk about what's going on with Ethan Klein. And Ethan Klein is suing other streamers. And he set up a trap for them to watch his videos and do it without really doing fair use. And he knew that was going to happen. And now he's suing a bunch of them. And they're going to go broke and bankrupt. It's crazy what's happening in the streaming world right now. This guy, his dad's, has an issue going on. What is going on with this guy's dad?
And so I had to make sure that I took him to a doctor's appointment. And this was a very important appointment he had to be at. So I had to take the entire day off for that doctor's appointment. And so at previously, he had mentioned that he was sick and, he didn't really feel that great, etc. And so we just went up there and we did that the day before yesterday. And, he was talking to them about it. And, basically, he went and he said that, he was talking to the doctor, or not doctor, it was a physician's assistant or something, because he needed to get a prescription for an air condenser so he can walk around without having to carry around the fucking oxygen machine, right? Which is what I've had to do for him as well. That's why I had to go with him, is to make sure I could do all that. And so anyway, we did all that on Monday. Is he okay? I'm going to find, probably yes. That's, I'll begin with that. Probably yes. He is in surgery, as far as I know, either right now or he's going to be in surgery very soon, right? It's happening this morning, this afternoon, and so that's what it's going to be. And so it's not super complicated, but yeah, that's currently what's happening right now. And so yeah, that's happening. And so let's go ahead and let's see how we get there. And so this is what happened. This is why I was gone. So he tells the doctor, or the woman there, that he his shit was a really bright color, not dark at all. And she says, well, that doesn't sound good. I'm going to have you do a couple of extra labs and things like that in order to make sure that everything's working okay. And so anyway, anybody who knows anything, that's not good? No, it turns out it wasn't. And so we do the labs. I get home and I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you later. I mean, I got home, my day, whenever I take a day off, it's not a day off. I'm infinitely more busy than my days streaming. Today is my day off. And so anyway, all that happened. And so that's bad, actually, yes. And so basically, we're at the lab, and I take him home, and that's it, and that's all it is. So I'm like, all right, well, all's well that ends well, right? I'm like, okay, things are fine. So the night before last, I guess, so not last night, but the night before last night, I download Donkey Kong because the new game came out, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to play this new game tomorrow. And I told my dad, I'm like, I'm going to be busy pretty much all tomorrow because I want to play this game, and I'll probably be over late at night, right? And so this is what happened. Liver issues can cause this. Well, we're getting to that. And so my dad calls me in the morning, and he says, this is he calls me 12:20, and he's like, hey. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, I don't want you to freak out because you always fucking freak out. Imagine how I feel. But the doctor called and they said I have acute liver failure. And I said, what the fuck? And he said, yep. And he's like, I'm like, I go to him, I ask him, I say, well, are you cooked? He's like, he's like, what do you mean by that? Am I dead? I'm like, yeah, are you dead? He's like, I don't know, let's find out. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right. So I go and I drive down there. No, like, cause I didn't know what to say. I was just like, wait, what? What the fuck? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. And so I'm like, okay, fine. And so I immediately get up and I drive over to his house and we take him, because they told him, they said, you know, like basically, the level that he was at, you know, it was like 120 or something like that. That's where you're supposed to be. And he was at like 2,000. So like, that's a little bit higher than average. So they said like, hey, listen, man, you've got to go down to the emergency room because your shit's fucked, right? And so I basically come over and, you know, obviously, you know, like very rarely, but, you know, it was a bit emotional because like I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea what was going to happen. And, you know, I mean, like you know, because he tells.
Listen, I know I said he's a good communicator, and now you're hearing this. I understand, okay? Okay? I understand your misunderstanding, okay? He's frazzled right now, okay? He's talking about his dad going through a wild thing, okay? I'm just saying, because some of you are listening to this right now, and you're going, this guy doesn't sound like a good communicator at all. He is. Trust me, okay? But this is crazy, man. See, this is the type of thing that people have to go through when they're creators. I was talking about this in another episode that I released on my other channel. I don't even know where I'll release this episode. I might release it on the main channel. I'm not sure. But, you know, this is the type of stuff that you have to go through where you can't take days off. And if you do, you got to just push through it and do whatever you got to do. It could be a horrible thing. And then you just have to jump back on. Like it's nuts. It's nuts how you have to do this. And I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. Like every Friday, like today, I do my episodes for Friday. Then I do my episodes for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because I do need the weekend, you know, like Saturday, we spend it with the in-laws. So we go see my mother, her husband. We go see my wife's parents, you know, let them all see the grandbaby and have the grandbaby meet all of them and, you know, do the stuff, play, have fun, have lunches, dinners, you know, family. And then Sunday, I like to just completely relax. We're trying to find a church to go to. You know, I don't want to bump into Rogan. I don't want to be at the church that Rogan's at, you know? If he recognizes me, he thinks I'm like the Liver King and I'm like following him. I know this guy has a channel dedicated to me, and now he's at the church. His security just like strangling me, you know? I got to tell him I'm not like the Liver King, and, you know, it'd be rough. But yeah, this is the type of stuff you have to go through, you know? And I know most people, you probably don't want to hear this, but I care about this. I had my dad pass away, and I can only imagine how hard this is. You know, in a way, what he's going through is way worse because, and it makes me so dreadful for what I'll have to go through with my mother. You know, God forbid, you know, she's good, but I didn't really know my dad. And we re-met when I was like 21, and we saw each other maybe 4 times. And the 4th time he was in the hospital and he had a tumor, and I cried a lot. And then he called me once, or I called him once. I said I wanted to see him. He said he's watching TV, which hurt a lot. And then he was dead. You know? I know the way I explain that, it makes it sound like I went and killed him because I was really upset, but that's not what happened. He just had, you know, more cancer, and it got bad, and he was just by himself in his apartment, and he died. Right? But with my mom, it's going to be like this. I'm going to be the one. I'm the one. You know, every family has the one that's going to take care of the parent. That's me. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to have to be with her. And That's terrifying. Terrifying. Terrifying.
Tell me, like, he's like, you know, he thought he said, well, drinking Jim Beam, a bottle of Jim Beam every night, you know, I knew that would catch up to me. And I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. And so basically, we go to the emergency room. It's cold as fuck. This is yesterday, right? And every night, yeah, well, not every night. I mean, sometimes he'd drink more than that, probably. But yeah, in a general sense, that's about right. And every night, yeah, it wouldn't help. Well, here's the ironic thing. It had nothing to do with it. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Him doing that for 40 years didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah. And so anyway, we go to the emergency room and they run tests, and obviously, like, at this point, you know, they're like, yeah, he's getting admitted for sure as soon as they saw his lab work. And so they do an ultrasound, and he comes back out of the ultrasound, and he's like, yep, gallbladder's full of rocks. And I'm like, well, are they gonna get the rocks out? He says I think, right? I'm not sure, right? But like, that's basically it. And so apparently there was a gallbladder stone that had been obstructing his liver. And because of that, it caused his, what do you call it? It caused his liver to overfunction. And so that's really kind of what happened. And smoked for 80 years. Yeah, exactly. That's not the worst then. So right now they're removing that. He's not sure, like, I don't think they're even sure right now if they're going to have to remove just the obstruction or the entire gallbladder. You know, obviously, like, he was lamenting. We were sitting in the room lamenting, like, whoa, man, are we going to be able to get hamburgers anymore? This is I'm like, yeah, it says on the internet that you can't eat pizza. He's like, fuck. And I'm like, guess what it says? Yeah, get ready for this one. He says, what? I'm like, ice cream. He says, fuck. And I'm like, yeah, so he's pissed off. Yeah, the important questions. And so no pizza. Now he can eat a little bit of it, so we'll see what happens, right? And so he's sitting in the emergency room, and he's like, well, you know, all those people that said that you killed your mom, now they can say that you killed me too. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but hopefully not yet.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. For people to say that about him, it shows how, and this is not just because of who he is, it's because of, like, politics. It's crazy how, and I'll call it the way I see it. It's crazy how the left acts. Oh, you saying that he did that to his mom. Can you imagine your mom passes away and then a bunch of shitheads decide to say that about you online because they don't like your stance on immigration, because they don't like that you talk about Trump in a positive way? Man, he has a good attitude towards it, though. I'd be livid if something happened to my mom and someone said something like that. It'd be a real problem. Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, that's great. And so anyway, Jesus Christ. And so that was pretty much my day yesterday. And I was with him until like 7 or 8 in the morning. And yeah, I was not in the morning, sorry, at night. And then I went home, I went back to his house. I did some shit at his house. I'm trying to like, all the photos that we have. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, this is just like honest, just like this is me. This shit scared the fuck out of me, man. Like, I was actually scared. It's the first time I thought in a long time he was gonna be dead, right? Ever since like the 4th pneumonia 2 years ago, I thought he was dead. I'm gonna be totally fucking honest, right? And so like that was it done, like acute liver failure, like, and also like, by the way, we're not out of the woods, right? I mean, shit could still go wrong, but at the same time, it looks like, you know, the prognosis is relatively optimistic. I would say it is optimistic. And so scary shit, exactly. So like that scared the fucking shit out of me. And it didn't even really, like, I like, scared is like the secondary emotion. Guilt actually was the primary emotion, which, you guys know me, that's a very, very rare thing to hear. And the reason why is like my dad had asked me, multiple times, like over the years, to like kind of get a lot of the photos and everything that we've had, his family photos, like get them all digitized so he can like organize them and plan all that out. And so I felt really guilty because I thought to my, that was the first thing I thought of. I said I never did that, right? I hadn't done it. Well, I had done a little bit of it, but like not enough. And so like last night I was at my dad's house probably till almost midnight, just getting all that done. I'm gonna hopefully get all of it done, as like kind of a present for him whenever whenever he gets back, right? And so that's the plan. Do it then, yeah. And so that's what I was doing. And so that's really it. And why did they not find this on his last visit? It seems like they did not do a good job this time. No, it's because like basically, I don't like. I mean,
Man, wild situation. Wild situation. I just wanted to talk about the next Joe Rogan. That's all I wanted to talk about, really. And then I end up looking at that video. Hope for dad pulls through. Stay strong. Watching me misspell words live on air. Did I write that right? Okay, I did. Okay. Put that comment out there. All right, guys, I'm out of here.